Dr. Wily never made a product that worked. Dr. Robotnik never managed to catch a hedgehog. And don't get me started on how many times Ganondorf has died. No, there's only one true final boss in video games. And he's about to make his proper big screen debut. We are not talking about Dennis Hopper. We're not talking about him anymore. Now we have Jack Black, and we're okay. We're wrapping up our look at the Super Mario Bros. Movie toy line that Jakks Pacific has put out with what I think is the crown jewel of the line, the Bowser. And granted, he is $30 as compared to the $20 you pay for everyone else. But when you consider how large he is compared to how large, say, Mario is, yeah, I kind of see where that money's going. Taking a closer look, and like a thing that you had to praise Illumination for is I think they redesigned the Mario characters incredibly well, Bowser included. I think this is the best Bowser has ever looked, with the possible exception of some of the Super Smash Bros. Models. I especially love how he has green in his body design now, whereas he typically always had just a yellow body. It kind of well, one, it makes sense because he has the green head, right? But it also kind of brings to mind like the Super Mario Bros. Super Show by having a little bit more green on the body, because he was fully green there. And in terms of the rest of the body, incredibly well sculpted, well painted. I love the attention to detail that they got the golden rings around his horns in, as well as the silver that they've used on all the spikes on his collar and his arm bracers. Look very well done. And then, of course, here on the back, you do have the brown circles around each of the spikes, as well as added spikes to his tail. I don't believe he's ever had spikes down here. I think that's always been a smoother part of Bowser. But yeah, I really like what they've done, and it's a very menacing Bowser. Like, it's not, like, terrifying. It's not, like, blood-chilling. But that very, like, it looks like Bowser's watching an old lady fall down the stairs, and it's the funniest thing he's ever seen. It's a very cruel smile with the eyebrows and the big toothy grin. I think it's a wonderful departure from the kind of goofier Bowser we've gotten used to in the past few years. I very much regret comparing these to the video game versions I have now, because both of these Bowsers are huge, and I can't get them both on screen. Taking a look at the Bowser I've always used for my collection, I never got the World of Nintendo version. I always have this PVC figure that the Mario company itself put out. I think Nintendo did a Yoshi, a Luigi, a Mario, and a Bowser this size. And he's fine. The paint is pretty rough. It's the only reason to get it is if you want a truly massive Bowser, because he completely towers over the World Nintendo version. But like, he has very little articulation. It's just the arms, and I could have been using an upgrade, which is why I'm kind of glad I have an upgrade. In terms of articulation with Bowser, you have nothing at the head, even though it does feel like there should be something there. You have a universal at the shoulder, deep wrist, good swivel at the wrist there. You have universal at the hip, big knee, and great foot articulation side to side. You also have multiple joints of articulation here in the tail, just a few ball joints it feels like. I will say this, because of how the hip is designed with this kind of curvature, Bowser can't make use of his leg articulation that well. Oh, well, look at that. I've been made a liar yet again. He's not been able to stand up for me before, but I guess he's been able to this whole time, and he just wants to perform for everyone. So, never mind, my criticism is gone. Bowser still looks great, and you can make use of that good articulation to make him even taller. Let's just put Mario back in there. Yeah, literally double the height and way wider, just for $10 more. Once again, I see where the money went. But would you believe this Bowser has an even bigger trick? We took off his shell, and now we're going to add 3 AAA batteries, if I can get it in there. Doop, and doop, and doop. Notice how Bowser's mane has kind of a weird break in the sculpt? Yeah, you pull that out. And I should have like a little dropper for this, I don't, so we're just going to be very careful with a water bottle and try not to get too much of a mess in. Nope. And I said we weren't going to try to make a mess. We just made a mess, but that's okay, because we're going to put the mane right back in. Like that. As we screw the panel back into place, boop, 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 we are going to make sure we hit that on switch there on the side. Get this nice and tight, just to make sure everything goes according to plan. And then let's get the shell back on. Just like that. Now with everything in place, we hit one of the shells. Look at that. So, it takes the water you put in, right? And it makes it into mist. That's so cool. And of course you have the red LED in the mouth. That makes it's supposed to emulate basically him getting ready to breathe fire. So maybe Bowser's incredibly angry. Maybe he's just trying to intimidate. But it's not necessarily fire breath so much as just like he's getting ready to start breathing fire. What a great gimmick. Like, I've never seen anything like this before, but it's so perfect, especially for a character like Bowser. And as you can see, you can get maybe 4 or 5 good puffs. I'm gonna say that's 5. That's 5 decent puffs of mist. I'm sorry. I love that. To me, that's the gimmick of the entire line. I know the realistic eyes were cool. I know some of the accessories were fun. But that's what makes Bowser the best out of all these figures for me, is just that fire breath. So I did just check to see how many you have to do before you just get no mist at all. I counted 14. So one refill gives you 14 puffs. Yeah. I'm sorry, I know I'm gushing, but it's a really good gimmick. It's a great gimmick. It doesn't impede the toy in any way. It's something I've never seen before. And it is so specific to this character that there's nothing wrong. It only elevates this figure to me. This entire toy line has just taken me by surprise. I just stumbled on it at Target, and each of the figures have a great strength unique to them. This Bowser, even though I think it's the pinnacle of the line, really does share the shelf with some really solid figures that kind of don't have a right to be as good as they are. This was a movie that I was really down on for a long time. I thought, the animation might be pretty, but it's from a studio I don't care for, and Mario just doesn't have the best luck with stuff that isn't video games. Especially when you have things like Star-Lord being Mario, and some of the kind of off-putting answers producers are giving out. I didn't expect much, but the trailers have been so fun. These toys have been so fun. For me, the hype is real. I want to believe this could be a good movie. I want to believe it could be a great movie. I'm excited to go see it, and maybe I'm setting myself up for failure, but that's just the fact of the matter. I love Mario, and it hurt me that I couldn't get excited for the Mario movie until now. The hype is real. The hype is real. It's been so much fun just to play with these figures, to get used to the new designs, play around with angles for photography, and this Bowser has been incredible. I love big beefy characters. I love big beefy figures. Bowser's one of my favorite one of my favorite characters of all time. I adore everything about Bowser. I made him in Smash. I use him in Mario Kart. Every game you can play as Bowser, I try to play as Bowser as much as I can because I adore the King Koopa. So it feels so sweet that not only am I most excited to see Jack Black's performance of Bowser in the film itself, but his figure wound up being my favorite. After all, what is a great story if it doesn't have a great villain?